Today, we're diving into one of the biggest debates in space science. Why is Pluto not a planet anymore? Once the ninth planet of our solar system, Pluto was kicked out of the Planet Club in 2006. But why did this happen? And what exactly is Pluto now? Let's find out. Pluto was discovered way back in 1930 by an American astronomer named Clyde Tombaugh. It was a big deal. At that time, it was considered the ninth planet in our solar system. Textbooks were updated, kids were memorizing. The planets like Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, all the way to Pluto. Even though Pluto was tiny, way smaller than Earth's moon, people were just excited to find anything out there beyond Neptune. And for decades, no one really questioned it. Pluto was a planet. End of story. Until scientists started asking more questions. As technology improved, astronomers began discovering other objects in the same area where Pluto hangs out, an area called the Kuiper belt. Think of it like a giant donut-shaped region full of icy rocks and mini-worlds. And guess what? Some of those objects were just as big as Pluto. Or even bigger. One major discovery was Eris, a dwarf planet that's actually more massive than Pluto. This raised a serious question. If Pluto is a planet, shouldn't Eris be a planet too? And what about the dozens, maybe hundreds, of similar objects? If we called all of them planets, we'd suddenly have 20, 50, even 100 planets. That would get a little messy, right? So in 2006, scientists decided it was time to define exactly what a planet really is. The International Astronomical Union, IAU, kind of like the official referee for space stuff, came up with 3 rules. To be a planet, an object must orbit the sun directly, be big enough that its own gravity pulls it into a round shape, clear its orbit, meaning it has to be the biggest thing in its neighborhood and gravitationally dominate the area around it. So, how did Pluto do? Let's check. It orbits the sun? Yes. It's round? Yes. But clear its orbit? Nope. Pluto shares its neighborhood with a bunch of other icy bodies in the Kuiper belt. It's not the boss of its orbit, not even close. And that's where Pluto failed. The test. Because of that third rule, Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet. What is a dwarf planet? Now, don't feel too bad for Pluto. It's still an amazing world. A dwarf planet is basically an object that orbits the sun, is big enough to be round, but hasn't cleared its orbital zone. Other famous dwarf planets include Eris, Haumea, Makemake, and Ceres, which actually lives in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Pluto is even the largest known dwarf planet in the Kuiper belt, and it has 5 moons, including the giant moon Charon. Plus, when NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew by Pluto in 2015, we got stunning images showing glaciers, mountains made of ice, and even blue skies. Pluto may not be a planet, but it's one of the most fascinating places in our solar system. Even though Pluto isn't a planet anymore, people still love it. Some scientists and fans are even pushing to bring Pluto back to planet status. There are still debates going on today. But whether you call it a planet, a dwarf planet, or just Pluto, it remains one of the most fascinating worlds in our solar system. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new today, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you don't miss more space adventures.